Hi there. Welcome to Bravo Aviation channel. Today we're doing a session on trip planning for a solo pilot IFR trip that I have upcoming on Wednesday the 25th. So today we're going to do our preliminary work. We're going to figure out the route of flight. We're then going to check the airport facilities. And we're going to check the future weather. We're going to go look at the prog charts to get an idea of what the weather is. Now, my goal is to determine in advance whether or not this mission can be performed with a high degree of probability. It is my rule to never fly a flight that I absolutely, positively have to. Which means I never want to get into a position where I could have to brake or come close to or have any safety issues whatsoever flying the airplane. So I'm going to look for all of those issues early. If I have them, I'll either figure out how to rectify them or plan another route of transportation. If it gets down to the last day, often that's too late, but I will still cancel it. I probably cancel more flights than anyone you've ever met, but I've been flying 49 years, so hopefully I've canceled at least 100 of them during that time. So let's go take a look. I need to be in Canton, Ohio on Wednesday, September 25th at about 10 a.m. I'm flying a Cessna Cutlass 172 RG. It's the retractable gear. Yeah, it's the good stuff. And I'll be leaving from Middletown Airport. So let's start off our flight plan by just typing in these known items. So 107 Tango Sierra is the airplane. We're going to start off at max throttle, manifold pressure. Generally, when I get to altitude, that's what I'm doing because the plane needs to be all the way up. But when I'm climbing up, it'll use different, as you'll see as we go along. So let's go in here and do KMWO to KCAK. And there's my route. And I've already put in, let's check this, Wednesday, September 25th at 8:30 for my departure time. And then this, the timeline, the estimated time en route, the estimated time of arrival, the fuel used, the tailwind is all calculated by ForeFlight for me. So let me bring you in here so you can see what I've done on the screen. There we go. There we go. So I've put in 107 Tango Sierra, max throttle, KMWO, KCAK. Here's my route of flight. I've got 159 nautical miles, an hour and 6 minutes. I'll get there at 9:36, which is fine. I'm looking to get there by 10 o'clock, so it'll work. Tailwind. Okay, so that's my route of flight. Let's go look at the weather then. Let's go look at our prog charts. And we're going to go to day 5. Okay, so if I come down here, it's Thursday. There's Wednesday. Am I going to get Wednesday morning over here? No, this is Wednesday. Okay, so according to this, on Wednesday, I've got a front moving right through Ohio, the blue line there going right through Ohio. I've got a front going through. Not the best thing in the world to see at your flight time. Let's move back. On Tuesday, it shows that the low has moved just south of Chicago, and the front is right over me. Okay, so now we're in the looking at the Monday. I'm sorry, yeah, the Monday weather, and we've got a broad expanse of rain running from upstate New York to Texas, and from southwestern Pennsylvania through Texas. There is a chance of thunderstorms. There's heavy rain forecast, or likely rain forecast, over both my destination and departure area. And if we go back now to Monday, we've got likely thunderstorms, heavy rain, yeah, right through the middle of the country, right where I am. And this is back to tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got it's like a little cold front moving through. Yeah, and it's going to, it's the last day that Ohio's got any dry weather. Okay. So let me talk to you about why I just did that. So I always start planning my trips well in advance. I want to see what they're projecting for the weather 5 days, 6 days down the road. And then I want to see what's set up for the weather before then. Weather is not a snap, it's there. It's a trend that moves over. You know, the weather forecasting got a whole lot better when we got satellites that could take pictures of what was moving around, so they can see what it is that's coming. It's no longer a guess. So, but weather does shift. I don't know if you noticed this, but weather changes. It's not always what it forecasts. So, in order to know whether that forecast on my flying day is still reliable, I want to see if the forecast, the system that forecast is based on, were reliable as well. So by looking at the forecast for today, tomorrow, whatever, will get me set up for whether or not that forecast in the future is going to work. Now, so the next thing we're going to do, let me get back to ForeFlight, because I'm sure you want to see what movements I'm taking. So I'm now in airports. Now, because I set up that flight of Middletown to Akron-Canton, that's now showing up as from my maps. Now, down below, you'll see these are recent flight plans that I have done to Chicago O'Hare and Pittsburgh and Put-in Bay. Fun flights all. And so that data is available. So these are the airports I can get to quickly. I can get to any airport on Earth with my subscription to ForeFlight, but these are the ones that are easiest for me to get to. Now over here, there are a lot of tabs. Okay? This is the first one I open. When I'm flying, we've got the runway information. Procedures, we'll be using this one in a little bit. But now, let's go look at weather. And not my short-term weather, because that's my current weather. This is my terminal area forecast. This is the computer's guess. And this is the daily, which goes out for a while. So let's go to Wednesday. And if we look at Wednesday at 8 a.m., and I'm arriving at 9 a.m., there's low instrument flight rules. 300-foot ceiling, 6 miles of visibility. Now, there is, I believe, let's go check real quick. If we go over here back to Akron-Canton, go to procedures, go look at their approaches, and go look at the ILS 23, because if you saw the wind, it's going to be a 222. So we go to the forecast here. The plate. This is the plate for ILS or localizer, runway 23 at Akron, Canton. Okay? And this is the runway that's still open. 119 is closed until the end of October. But it's a long runway. It's 8,200 feet. I can probably land before I get to the first runway crossing. And the ILS can go to 200 feet and a half-mile visibility. And it's forecasting a 300-foot visibility. So legally, I can land the plane there on, yeah, it's not even at the minimums. I got 100 feet left. And I have landed a plane in those conditions. It's not a preference. But as long as there's no convective activity, so what I would do is this is not a positive thing. We'll get back here to our weather. I can get in. Weather. Here we go. I can get in, and it looks like the weather is improving. So what we have, if you look up here at the top, is we have a relatively light wind, 5 knots, but the big deal here is that the gap between the dew point temperature and the actual temperature at 8 a.m. is nothing. When you have a narrow gap between your temperature and your dew point, you're going to have fog. And so they're projecting fog based on that. Okay? Now, if you've got fog, you don't have turbulence, you don't have a thunder bumper, because the stronger the winds are, it's going to blow the fog away. So this is, this is something that will burn away, as you can see by, by 10 o'clock, the ceiling's up to 1,500, 7 miles of visibility, and, it gets better during the day. And then overnight, it probably goes down. Okay, so that's what we've got going in. I need to watch it. I need to monitor this. I can get in. Now, my two major concerns with weather are convective weather, thunderstorms, and ice. Now, with a 64-degree temperature, I'll be checking the ice later, but as a 64-degree temperature at 5,000 feet, I'm still not going to have any ice. So that's not bad. I mean, it's a concern. No doubt about it. It's a concern, but it's not that bad. So let's go look at our departure weather. And so if I'm leaving at 8, it's they've had the same sort of, same sort of weather. It's pretty dominant. It's probably a warm front moving through. I'll go back and look at that chart again. But this is going to be rather calm. So there's no problem getting out with 5,000-foot ceiling and 5 miles of visibility. You may remember when I was up at Cleveland Burkefront Airport, I was begging for the visibility to get up to half mile so I could get out of there and fly home, and did so. So that's what we've got. I've got a runway I can get into. I don't have the best weather in the world. I want to be following this weather to see how it goes. And if it turns out that this is low visibility and extraordinarily heavy rain, you feel through it. But this is a doable route, and the time is okay. Push this over here so you can see me talking about this. So there, I've now looked at my weather into the future. Okay? The weather is borderline. It's questionable. My time to get in is critical. I need to be there at 10 o'clock. The fact that this weather, this is me playing director at the same time, is very low visibility through 9 o'clock, and I have an event to get to it, right after 10 o'clock, makes this cuspy. So I'm going to be tracking this carefully. In fact, I'm not going to go forward by contacting the FBO, although I've flown into Akron, Canton previously, so I know the FBO. It won't be a problem. And I know that they've got lifts and a Hertz place right at the FBO, and so that shouldn't be a problem. So I'm not going to do any reservations on those services today. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to look and see how the weather is going. Okay, let's go back to our map then. So routes, I believe I can do this direct. Oh boy, I can do it direct. I love flying direct. And I'm going to tell you my experience when you fly at 5,000 to 9,000 feet, which on the East Coast is where I fly. In the Rocky Mountains, it's totally different numbers. If you fly around where there's not a whole lot of airline traffic, sometimes you're the only IFR person within thousands of feet. Even if they give you a routing, as an example, I was flying back from Atlanta, and they gave me this routing that it took me out over some Victor Highway up over the Smoky Mountains National Park, where I'm climbing up to 12,000 feet and then back down again. And, I ended up putting all this stuff into my Garmin before I flew. And after I took off from the airport, I turned and went north. And about the time I hit the perimeter highway, they turned me over to Atlanta Center, and they gave me direct to destination. I'm like, hallelujah. And that saved me a half hour and climbing up to 12,000 feet and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so I can do this direct. That's good. We can see that I've got an hour and 6 minutes. That's good. So I'm there at 9:36. If I leave at 8:30, I can work on that later. Well, that's all good. We know we've got an airport I can get into. At those weather, I would probably have to do an alternative airport. Alternative airport is a challenge. In that area of the world, Akron, Canton is going to be your alternative airport most of the time. And my two choices there would be Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And if I had to go to the alternative, I don't make my event if I leave at 8:30. So we've got another possibility. There's a possibility that I might want to fly in the evening before. Settle down in a hotel, sleep in, and go to my event. And the last time I went to Akron, Canton, that's what I did. So let's see, is there anything else I have to do? So we know about the FBO, which is an issue. The FBO is an issue. We've got a route. We've got an idea of the weather. Yeah, I think I'm good for today. Now, I'm going to come back and check the weather again tomorrow. And I'm going to come back and check the weather the day after that. Now, if you, I don't care about the rest of you, but if you like watching me actually do live trip planning, and it's more than flight planning, because along with getting the airplane there safely, you also have to have services when you arrive to take care of you. Okay? Otherwise, it's a waste. So you got to make sure you've got an FBO that can handle you. You've got to make sure that you can have transportation services in and around. An example, going to New Philadelphia, Ohio. There's some wonderful Amish country around New Philadelphia. There's some great historical sites around New Philadelphia. It was at one time the western border of the United States during some fascinating history. If you fly into New Philadelphia Airport on a weekend, you can't rent a car. So if you want to fly in to visit a tool and die shop on the weekdays, yeah, you can get a car. But if you want to come in and do touristy stuff, you can't. Important stuff. I went to the Virgin River National Park, Virgin River Gorge National Park, I'm sorry. Really wonderful park. The rental car place closed on Saturday at noon, and was closed all day Sunday. So when I had to leave early Sunday, I just dropped my keys off and got charged for the whole day. I love going to bigger airports. Anyways, so I will be on tomorrow, probably in the morning, and then on Monday in the morning. Now, the way I'm setting these up is I don't know when I'm going to be checking my flight plan. I will have them up after I've done it. But if you want to see it live and throw in questions, etc., then you really should subscribe to the channel, because subscribers are notified when there's an event. They can ask to be notified when there's an event. One, and number two, so that we don't waste a lot of time, I'm going to require you to be a subscriber to make comments or questions into my live streams. I'm not putting any limit on it. I mean, like right now, if you wanted to subscribe to ask a question, you could. Okay, so thank you. I'll be back tomorrow at about 10 o'clock. If you're interested, come on and join me. Have a great day.